this is Pragya Devan and you're watching Voice News Network. Here are the top stories for today. Amidst the rising tensions between Russia and the West, NATO, which is known as North Atlantic Treaty Organization, says that it was putting forces on standby and reinforcing Eastern Europe with more ships and fighter jets, and could also send additional troops to its southeast flank. Last week, the US and UK issued direct warnings of consequences if an invasion takes place in Ukraine. However, Russia denies it is planning any invasion and has said that Western accusations are merely a cover for NATO's own planned provocations. Some high-stakes diplomacy talks have happened in the recent weeks that failed to reach any breakthrough and maneuvering on both sides. Haiti was struck by a 5.3 magnitude earthquake and a series of smaller tremors on Monday that killed one person in the Caribbean nation's southern peninsula and flooded the streets. The U.S. Geological Survey reports that the first quake hit an area near the city of Les Cayes and was followed by tremors of 4.4 and 5.1 in the same area, just 6 months after a major tremor in the same region killed more than 2,000 people. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced 50 million Canadian dollars in aid that would be provided to Haiti towards health services, security and infrastructure. Aisha Malik, who is 55, becomes Pakistan's first female Supreme Court judge. Malik now sits on a bench with 16 other male colleagues in the Muslim-majority country's top court. Many lawyers and activists in the country laud this decision as it is a rare victory after decades of struggle to get representation for women in Pakistan's male-dominated society. While there are some lawyers and judges who oppose Justice Malik's appointment as she seems to be less senior than other candidates. Justice Malik, who was educated at the Pakistan's College of Law and Harvard University, has served as a High Court judge in the city of Lahore in eastern Pakistan for the last 2 decades. The Dutch military police have confirmed a stowaway found alive in a plane's wheel section in Amsterdam. He's identified as a 22-year-old Kenyan man. According to the Dutch police officials, the man is conscious and is able to communicate and is currently receiving medical treatment in hospital. The police are further investigating the matter and they say that the man is expected to seek asylum in the Netherlands. The Cargolux flight in which the man was found flew from Johannesburg, South Africa to the Dutch capital via Nairobi in Kenya. According to medical practitioners, it is very unusual for stowaways on long flights to survive due to the cold and low oxygen at high altitudes. In the past 5 years, 7 stowaways have been discovered on planes in the Netherlands. Only 2 of them were alive. US President Joe Biden will hold a video conference on Ukraine with European allies after the US warned that Russian invasion can come at any time. According to a senior defense official, one option the Biden administration is considering is moving between 1,000 to 5,000 troops, both to shore up Eastern European and Baltic allies so they are able to help American citizens if necessary. The US sent 2 weapon shipments to Ukraine over the past week as a part of recently directed security assistance to help bolster Ukraine's military. A lone gunman opened fire in an auditorium at Heidelberg University in southwest Germany, injuring 4 people. According to the police, the perpetrator is described as a young man and is dead now. Police say that the lone gunman began shooting while a lecture was taking place before running outside. A police spokesperson said that they believe that he killed himself. One of those shot in the incident was seriously injured. At this stage, the officers cannot determine a motive for the incident. Nunavut has become the latest jurisdiction to sign on to the federal government's $10 a day childcare program. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announces the $66 million deal virtually this morning with Nunavut Premier PJ Akigok from a daycare in Iqaluit. Trudeau says that the deal means Nunavut's daycare fee will be cut in half by the end of 2022 and will be $10 per day by March 2024. After students returned for in-person learning in Ontario, more than 300 Ontario schools reported absence rates higher than 30% by the end of last week. The province is no longer publishing information on COVID-19 cases in schools due to restricted testing policy, but it is sharing data on absences online, whether or not they are related to the virus. The province has said that families will be notified once 30% of students and staff are absent. Data published on Monday shows that nearly 337 schools had hit that mark as of Friday, and 111 schools had absence rates higher than 50%. Today, Ontario reports that there were 615 patients with COVID-19 in intensive care units as the cumulative number of cases of the illness throughout the pandemic in the province surpassed 1 million. Slightly more than 92% of those infections are considered resolved, while at least 65,504 are active. Because the province restricted PCR testing to only the most high-risk instances and settings earlier this month, it is impossible to say with certainty how many cases are actually ongoing. According to the Health Ministry, of the 615 patients in ICUs, 372 or just more than 60% needed the help of a ventilator to breathe. Chris Evans is set to star opposite Dwayne Johnson in the holiday event film called Red One for Amazon Studios. Jake Kasdan will direct the film and will also produce via his production company, The Detective Agency, alongside Melvin Marr and co-producer Sky Salam Robinson. The film will reunite Kasdan, Dwayne Johnson and Seven Bucks Production after their collaboration on Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle and Jumanji The Next Level, which collectively earned $1.7 billion at the worldwide box office. One of rock music's most influential artists, Bob Dylan, had sold the master recordings of his entire back catalogue to Sony Music in the industry's latest blockbuster music acquisition. The deal, which was signed in July last year, includes everything from the classic 1960s albums like Blonde on Blonde up to his latest release, that is 2020's Rough and Rowdy Ways. According to Billboard magazine, the catalog is worth $200 million, which is based on annual revenues of roughly $16 million. Dylan has previously sold his publishing to Universal Music for a reported $400 million. And that is it in today's bulletin. Thanks for watching.